With 2 kids playing on 4 different teams, Jane struggles to stay organized, especially when it comes to getting everyone to the right place at the right time. And with the inevitable With 2 kids playing on 4 different teams, Jane struggles to stay organized, especially when it comes to getting everyone to the right place at the right time. And with the inevitable last-minute changes, things get even more frustrating. Thankfully, each team uses TeamSnap, making Jane's life a breeze. After downloading the app and activating her account online, schedules are automatically synced to all of Jane's calendars. She gets team notifications on the go by email and text. Maps and directions are a single tap away. And she can even view team contact information so she can organize carpools with nearby families. Get started with your free account today and join millions of parents like Jane who already use TeamSnap to keep their kids on the field and their sanity intact.
Proud presenting partner of the 2014 Chicago Red Stars, CJ Wilson Mazda has all-star service and breakaway selection with all new models, like the 2014 Mazda 6, starting only $19,999. Discounts off MSRP include all customer incentives, plus tax, title, license, and dock fees. Financing varies for qualified buyers. Offer ends April 30th, 2014. Test drive a Mazda today at CJ Wilson Mazda, located at the corner of LaGrange Road and Joliet Road in Countryside. Visit ZoomZoomNation.com for the largest selection of new and pre-owned Mazdas in Chicagoland. What do you drive?
There are 2 ways to manage a team. Coach Derek uses a clipboard, the old-fashioned way, and Coach Bob uses his smartphone and the TeamSnap app. It's faster, way faster. When the practice location changes at the last minute, Coach Bob touches one button to notify the entire team by email or text. Coach Derek needs a team. The night before the game, Coach Bob confirms that he has enough players. At game time, Coach Derek discovers he doesn't have a goalie. And while Coach Bob's bank account is happy because he can collect the team fees online, Coach Derek spends hours searching through notes to track down who hasn't paid. TeamSnap puts your team on the field, on the web, and on your phone. Whatever your game, whatever your group, TeamSnap makes it easy. Sign up and try it for free today.
The best of the best in town tonight at Benedictine University, an unbeaten Seattle Reign team in town to take on your Chicago Red Stars here from Lisle, Illinois, just west from downtown Chicago, Illinois. Happy again to have you with us. I'm Lisa Byington, and with us as our guest analyst, a little Red Star royalty. I don't know if I can call you that. Arnim Whistler, the owner here of the Chicago Red Stars. So happy that you joined us here tonight.
Thank you, Lisa. Happy to be here. I always step in when we either have things to share or when I'm needed. So I'm needed tonight.
You are needed. Absolutely. You're always needed. And we look forward to some of the stories and the insight that you can provide here tonight. Again, from Benedictine University Sports Complex in Lisle, Illinois, it's the Seattle Reign against the Chicago Red Stars. And there was an absolute monsoon that came down here in the Chicagoland earlier here today. We hope to maybe avoid the rains, at least here in the. And we're back here in Lisle, Illinois. We apologize for that little glitch and the technical difficulties. The good news is that we have not missed any of the match here so far. Again, Lisa Byington alongside the Chicago Red Stars owner Arnim Whistler. There you see your match officials here for Domka, Marlene Duffy, and Veronica Perez. Again, we have the Seattle Reign in town taking on the Chicago. First corner look here for the Red Stars.
It's Bywater's taking the corner. That's unusual. She hasn't done that this year, but I did watch her do that all week long in practice.
Again, Vanessa DiBernardo normally taking those set pieces for Chicago. Coming off the bench here tonight, finds the head for Chicago, and Seattle able to clear it out. A dangerous look there for the Reign. Here's another look.
Johnston very tricky with the ball on the end line. And a breather temporarily for Seattle.
Well, Abby Urseg had a great opportunity there on that corner chance for Chicago. And the Red Stars coming up empty-handed here early. Here's a counter opportunity here for Seattle.
We'll give LeBlanc a touch on the ball. No, against Seattle the first time, I think Red Stars tried to employ very high pressure most of the game, and was working for a while. We 60th or so minute had a lead, and then I think our defense between the two PKs started to get fatigued and open the game up much more for Seattle.
2 penalty kicks from Kim Little back on June 7th, and a goal from Sydney LaRue. The Red Stars falling short in that one, 3-1. Emily Van Egmond getting the 1 goal for Chicago in that game.
So we expect this to be fast-paced physical game. Both teams completely comfortable mixing it up in the midfield, and I'm sure we're going to see a bit of that.
So what's at stake for these two teams? Well, Seattle trying to lock up a playoff spot and maybe that #1 seed, and Chicago, of course, battling with maybe 3-4 other teams here to make those maybe last 2 playoff spots. And here's Bywaters,
exactly,
and this is what Rory Dames wanted her to do, that space in the middle. Drops it off there to Kristen Press on the left side. Press 1v1, tries to go end line. She beats her man, sends it into the middle. What looked like to be a nice and beautiful ball.
Yeah, Press got around her that time. First time was unable to, but nice cross back to the 6 or so.
And certainly Kristen Press is one of those players Chicago has not been able to play with all season long, and certainly changes the dynamic up front and up top.
She does. She's got a nose for goal. You put her in the 18, give her the ball, she's usually going to find a way to rip a good shot, and usually on frame.
The giveaway there from Chicago.
So I think a nice start so far for Chicago. Lots of good early chances, and we'll see if we can keep the high pressure up.
Seattle's sitting pretty, 42 points, a 13-0-3 record, completely unbeaten here in the season of 2014. The ball up over the top, and this could be trouble. Sydney LaRue, and played perfectly defensively by Chicago.
Haven't heard much chatter yet on Rookie of the Year, but I think most people would have Julie Johnston on the very short list. She has been just rock solid in central defense or in a holding mid position for us.
One of your first-round draft picks. What did you like from her in terms of selecting her for your franchise?
Well, versatility. She's a hard player, lots of grit, and you know when she makes contact with you, but she also has that technical skill to take the ball up the field end to end, and you'll see that, I'm sure, again tonight.
Julie Johnson, just 22 years old, out of Arizona, obviously played her college soccer at Santa Clara. A top 5 draft pick in the 2014, and you're right, one of those top rookies here in the NWSL. Perhaps we could see her as the Rookie of the Year, and Kim Little really making her case for maybe MVP and Player of the Year in this league this year.
Kim's been a great player in England, and it was nice to see her be part of this league. Laura Harvey, again, has just done a great job rebuilding this team almost from scratch. I hesitate to guess, but it was a number of trades that she made.
Here's a nice look. The one.
Yes!
Chicago on top. It's Hope Solo goes near side. Solo with the save.
Near post, and Hope was having none of that. She was all over that. Very nicely played by Hope Solo.
Here's another look.
And replay. Left foot, dangerous left foot by Press.
And that is why Hope Solo is Hope Solo, really taking away that angle on a breakaway like that. So the second corner opportunity here coming up for Chicago. And again, Bywaters will take it. Vanessa DiBernardo starting this game on the bench.
And all the big bodies, as you'd expect, are up front for the Red Stars. Only Kalupny and Morway are back.
Last time she went for Abby Erseg's head. This is far into the box, maybe not the service that she would have liked. Chicago places it out there to Kalupny. Back to the left side to Bywaters.
Again, isolating her one-on-one. And this time Fishlock had the better of it. Fishlock really, frankly, one of my favorite players in the league.
Second in assists in the NWSL, and as you talk about heart and soul of this team, you could argue a Kim Little or a Jess Fishlock.
Right.
Here's another look at that goal. Perfectly placed in the one touch there. It's the first goal of the season for Tancredi.
And she'd been out for a while, of course, going to chiropractic school. And we're glad she's back.
I bet, because she can do things like that.
One-timer off the bounce with the right foot by Tancredi.
A nice little half-chance look for Melissa Tancredi with the first goal of the year. And Julie Johnston, we had just been talking about her. Her first assist of 2014 and her career.
Tancredi was offside, and Seattle restarting.
We had talked about Chicago having some of the best chances here in the first half, other than trying to go over the top to LaRue. Seattle has been awfully quiet. Again, they're trying to go up top.
I think it's a wonderful night, both for the league and our team. This is as close as you get to a sellout with storms brewing. We had only a couple hundred tickets left when I left earlier today, and on any sunny day we would have sold those out. So we have very nice turnout, good energy, good crowd.
A decent crowd too Wednesday against Portland, and you have obviously that other match coming up against Portland on Thursday night.
I think in any of the major metro areas like LA or Chicago, you're thrilled anytime you can get over 1,500 for a midweek game. It's just a tough commute. We had 2,100 on Wednesday. So things are really building here at the end of the season.
Is there traffic in those areas?
It's really, it's nearly impossible. As Lisa knows.
I live downtown. I sit in traffic all the time up here. But we're in Lisle, Illinois, a beautiful complex.
Restarting.
Benedictine University Sports Complex, just a little bit west of downtown Chicago. And I see some of these fans that we've been talking about starting to put on the rain gear. Arnhem Whistler, the umbrellas are coming up. A set piece here for Seattle, a great service into the box and a clear from Chicago. Stephanie Cox looking to play it back in. A throw-in coming up for the Red Stars.
Somewhat similar to the first game in that we haven't really given Seattle the chance to play their game yet. They really like to, it's falling nicely here, but they really like to build up through quality passing up and down the pitch, and just haven't had as much of the ball as they'd like at this point. And you know, she's still got it. So we just got to get her fitness back. But her body's behaving appropriately, and just needs to get a little bit stronger. And her daughter, by the way, is adorable.
Oh, is it?
Got to meet Zoe this week.
Nice, great. I was going to say, Shannon Box, of course, on maternity leave, as most fans know, and you kind of expected her to be back at the end of June. She came back a little bit in July, so maybe just a couple weeks after maybe what you guys were anticipating in the preseason.
Yep, she went into the national team camp and was evaluated. wasn't given permission to really go, and then right when she came back, she said, "You know, put me in, coach." And so I think Rory's trying to find as many minutes as he can for her, given the need for extra legs in this stretch.
As I said, he anticipated her playing maybe 20 to 30 minutes, but he said to me in the pregame on Wednesday, hey, if I look at her at the 30-minute mark, she's going to tell me, Coach, I'm still okay.
Right. Yeah, she will.
She ended up playing 41 in her debut. Could possibly see her next Thursday against Portland. Again, she is not on the roster here for tonight.
Right. Oops.
LaRue trying to turn right into the feet of Kolupny. Here is Bywaters again, looking to reverse fields for Chicago. The dangerous pass nearly intercepted. Lauren Barnes with the sliding tackle nearly got that one.
And you rarely get to say this, but that was one of the first times Kolupny's had the ball at her feet. So she's playing deeper than she usually does. I don't know if it's to preserve the legs and give her less running.
Adriana Leone left all alone there on the left side, sends it back into the middle. And here is Bywaters trying to control.
Bywaters has a sneaky left foot. I'm going to put that out there. If she can get it near her left foot, you're going to see an early shot.
Leone again on the left side, up against Stephanie Cox of Seattle. And Leone, what a move! Past Cox, sends it to no one into the box.
Don't know if the crowd let out a collective whoa with that tricky Leone move to get out of trouble there.
Adriana Leone treating the crowd to some 1v1 moves. Pretty to watch.
These are, you know, it's no surprise. These are Rory type players. The coaching staff loves players that'll take people on one-on-one. Here's the replay. Leone with a little back heel out of trouble.
That is
just misses Press's head.
Join the U.S. Soccer Foundation team and be a champion for today's youth. Visit www.creatingchances.org to learn more.
Sort of a humid Saturday night.
Leone again with the ball to Zakia, who
Bywaters
has a mind to shoot on that left foot.
Bywaters the top of the box. There's that left foot you were talking about.
No, she just loves to get it over there, and she's got a great strike when she does.
Here's another look. Hope Solo has certainly been tested, earning her keep here in the first half.
The umbrella's opening and then closing and then opening here. You know, the rain intermittent. Still trying to figure out if it's going to cause trouble or not.
And the only thing that it might cause, as you had talked about, is just the skidding of the ball across this surface, a field turf surface here at Benedictine University.
And Urseg there with a nice winner on the head in the midfield. That's something that for so long we really were missing, was that big physical presence, and Urseg at 5'10" provides that.
Provides some height there on those set pieces we have seen too. One of the targets there on those corner chances.
Yep. And I'm looking again, you know, Kalupny playing really, I don't know, you can't see the full formation on the shot right now, but Kalupny really the bottom of that diamond and almost a holding mid presence right now.
Trying to find Beverly Goebel there in the corner for Seattle as the rains now are coming down.
Calls a little tug on Bev Goebel there. I'm not sure. And Wenino down again.
And Chicago's just a little bit slow to get up.
Yeah, Michelle had a knee knock this week that she was watching in practice, so I think she's just being a little bit careful about the knee.
So Julie Johnston here on the free kick. Looking for Tancredi. It goes to Bywaters. A whistle and a foul. It'll go Seattle's way. Margaret Domka, the lead official here for this match.
So we have another match going on simultaneously. The 4 teams vying for what, well, there are 7 teams vying for the final 2 spots, but the 4 that right now have the best chance.
As the set piece, Kim Little, Karina LeBlanc punches it out.
Punch save slipped a little. I think she wanted it to go further out, but anyway, all 4 teams vying for those 2 spots are playing right now. And everybody, I think, eager to see, I won't give away the score, but everyone eager to see the Western New York-Washington match and how that turns out as well.
Just a tease, huh?
Yep.
Another chance here.
Very nice. Wenino just gets up enough to clear that header out of bounds.
Michelle Wenino getting the start here for Chicago.
The rain really starting to come down a bit harder now. We have lots of early indicators, no sign of lightning. We're going to obviously keep playing through this. But just so I don't know if you can see it on the camera, it's got to be pretty wet on the field right now.
But again, a big applause to the fans who have come out to kind of brave the elements here and watch their home team, the Chicago Red Stars, take on the top team in the NWSL. The ball out to Stephanie Cox, and it just goes sailing. We might see that a couple of times now.
Yeah, those are the ones that normally might check back a little bit and stay in, but they're just not going to stay in with this weather. So 30th minute, I think Red Stars came out exactly the way they wanted to, and then I think Seattle matched the intensity. And it's game on now. Both teams seem to be battling more in the midfield, but some good chances.
See Kolupny battling Kim Little. We have not said her name very often here. Kim Little has been awfully quiet here in this first half in the center of the field here for Seattle.
Lauren Barnes pretty far up for the left back and making the full run. Again, you got to, if you're a Seattle fan, hope she doesn't lose the ball because she's got a long distance back to cover.
Here's LaRue tracking back, trying to possess. And it'll be a Chicago free kick here coming up.
LaRue.
This will be the second of 3 meetings here between these two teams. Seattle winning the first match 1.
And one of the things about the number of teams in the league right now, so you play each team 3 times, and somebody's going to get 2 home games, and the other, and 1 away. And so in this particular case, Chicago goes on the road twice to Seattle, and they only have to travel here once. So slight advantage perhaps to Seattle in the season matchup. It's just
a hard tackle there from Bywaters.
There's a little slip by Hope on the ball in the box. But we have just the opposite with Portland. We have 2 games.
I was just about to say that.
At home against Portland, only 1 on the road. All within a 10 or 11 day stretch, which is kind of crazy.
You played Portland already, yeah, twice in 6 days. July 4th and just recently on Wednesday. Both of those matches ending in draws, and as you know well, Chicago and Portland very hungry to get some points here towards the end of the year.
These are every game down the stretch matters, but certainly against those teams that you're fighting hardest for the spots for, you've got to get points. And we started behind in both those games, and we're able to make up just in time to get a point out of each of those matches. Thursday, it's the rubber match. We'll see how that goes. Both teams hoping for 3 points.
We may have an injury timeout here. Seattle's Jess Fishlock walking off with one of the athletic training staff members for Seattle.
It's probably, I'm going to guess blood or something. She doesn't look.
They were looking at her elbow, I believe, on her arm.
I would bet she's going to get retaped and be out fairly quickly. But so Fishlock off the field right now, so Seattle playing with 10. And I'm sure Chicago will try and make something of that.
Here in the 34th minute, a 1-0 advantage here for Chicago over the Seattle Reign.
And you can just see that the first touch is letting people down a bit more with the heavy rain now. Hard to control that ball.
Short passes in a possession game, perhaps the way to go here from this point forward here between these two teams. The 35th minute of play. Julianne Sitch trying to send it to the outside to Leone. Leone, the nice touch, takes it inside, and the deflection defended nicely from Seattle.
Oh, well, Tancredi was in an offside position, couldn't play the ball, and Morway really shoots it harmlessly to Hope Solo.
Defended nicely there from Stephanie Cox of the Seattle Reign. This back line has been tested here for Seattle in this first half.
Like I said, I don't think anybody would ever give up on this game, but this is a Seattle team and a Chicago team that love to come back. So this game has a has a lot of drama and suspense left.
These are two teams who struggled in the first year of the NWSL, and here you are, Seattle, the top team here in the league.
Yep.
Chicago battling again to try to make the playoffs.
Right, and you have to add the Washington spirit to that as well. Washington, Seattle, the bottom 2 teams, and have been in the top 3 much of the year.
Visit the info town of Concourse and leave us your email so you can get the most up-to-date news.
We're proud of the league though, because there's an awful lot of parity. There are very few games that are decided by more than 1 goal. I mean, there's certainly a couple, but you don't get the blowouts like you get in some of the leagues around the world where you're going to get a 6-1, a 9-0 game. Almost every game is a battle. You saw Boston, the bottom team, play Seattle and lead most of the game, lost by a goal. Yeah. And so every night you got to have your boots laced up and ready to play.
Here's an opportunity here for Chicago. That is Julie Johnston again pushing up from the backfield.
And Fishlock back on, wins the ball. Early ball to LaRue.
And you can watch how that ball just skids right across that turf.
Yeah, LeBlanc and Sola both are going to have to be sweeper keepers out pretty far tonight, watching those long balls that they don't sneak up on them.
Here's the pressure there from LaRue. And Kim Little is there for Seattle. Bywaters tries to settle. A nice outside run here for Chicago. It's Leone who will control. And making that nice outside run, Keisha Morway there on the left side. Coming up from the left back spot and a whistle.
Offside. So they got Morway offside. It was very close. Maybe we'll get a replay, but hard from this angle. The football lines help in this case. But Morway offside. Keisha's a great story. Player who won a national championship at Notre Dame her freshman year as a defender and transferred, and I think some folks lost track of her, but Rory was thrilled that she wasn't picked up in the draft. She's a local homegrown product, and we're able to get her to work out with the team, and she's a great outside backup defender for us.
We saw a great run that she made, just wasn't being able to reward herself on that effort. But yeah, from Notre Dame to Colorado College.
Yep.
Was her university trail that she took. One of 6 Tigers to start all 22 games in her final season. So into the 38th minute. The lone goal scored in the 8th minute from Melissa Tancredi of Chicago. A beautiful ball set up by Julie Johnston of Chicago.
Still lots of space in the field, just huge pockets to exploit, and we'll see which team does a better job.
Here's an outside pass, Kawasumi. Nahu Kawasumi has some space to work with.
Very
Sends it
dangerous.
in to LaRue,
Wow.
and the clear there from Johnston.
It's a nice cross by Naho. Not really a great target appearing for her, but a very nice cross.
And Zakia Bywaters again playing in a different position here for Chicago.
And now you see Press in that deep holding spot, working her way out. So maybe it's just being used to cycle and rest. We've got 4 interchangeable parts in the midfield right now.
Yeah, we really see Adriana Leone and Melissa Tancredi playing high for Chicago as Bywaters and Press are dropping back to the middle of the field. Seattle, again, a very patient team, will try to work its way out of the back line.
Naho pointing down the right side. I thought we were going to have a give and go there.
Showing nicely, that's Beverly Goebel. In the rain and no rush to start this attack. And this is what you were talking about. Seattle Reign Soccer. Possession of the ball.
Right.
The short passes to control. Nice combination. Kawasumi trying to work there with Noguera. And there's Kim Little.
Oh.
Again, Chicago has made it tough for her. She goes tumbling to the turf, and it'll be a foul there on the Red Stars.
Yep. Kristen Press just clipped her leg, and harmless foul, but a foul nonetheless. There's the replay. Can't really play the ball from that position behind the player, can you?
Probably 10 times out of 10 you're going to get that call.
Yeah.
Into about the 41st minute, trying
Boy,
to find the head. Oh, there's LaRue who sends it back in nicely.
Ball apparently had gone over the touch line, so this is going to be a goal kick to the Red Stars.
LaRue tried to save it. And play had continued there for a few seconds. Sydney LaRue coming in. 3 goals, no assists here in the 2014 season. Certainly is capable of scoring at will whenever she gets a chance. Here's Kolupny.
Really not used to Kolupny getting so few touches. It's a completely different team when she's not playing in that attacking mid kind of withdrawn position.
She has played a ton of minutes already here in the 2014 season. 1,440 minutes here coming into tonight. That is the tops here on this team. Followed by Rachel Kwan, who's actually out for this game, resting her legs.
Yep. And Morway playing a very Kwan-like role, very speedy, quick, shifty outside back. Maybe not as fast in the flat, but very quick feet. So hard to get around her when you've got a wide player trying to take you on.
Yeah, we saw that outside run that she was able to make here in the first half. Was whistled for an offside call, but you can see the potential in what she can add in the attack with that speed. Here's Johnston.
Probably not surprising. You haven't seen as many gambling runs by Johnston up the pitch. I think, it's too early to sit back, but you got to be a little more conservative.
Bywaters, can she get past?
Morway's going to follow up and find that ball.
And Seattle pretty composed back there on that back line. Fishlock and Fletcher, some veterans back there for the Reign.
So Seattle just patiently probing, looking, trying to figure out how they're going to break this this defense down. Chicago defense has been one of the top defenses in the league this year. Had a stretch where we weren't as tough. Part of that was from an injury to Sam Johnson, starting center back. And, you've got to refine a little bit of chemistry in the back line.
They were a team that was 5-14-3 last year. What a turnaround they have made. We talked about some of the bottom tier teams from last year really becoming the teams to chase here in 2014. Seattle certainly is one of them. Here's Little in the middle of the field. Out to Kawasumi.
Can't quite get to the ball. Out to the Red Stars. Yeah, and it starts with the big trade last year between Seattle and Boston, where Seattle ends up with Sydney LaRue. An impact player, someone.
Here's Kawasumi trying to go end line. It'll be a corner chance here for Seattle.
All Urseg could do there was just kind of push it out. She was beaten and on the ground. So.
And this is the first corner looks here for the Reign here in this first half. Chicago has about 3 corner chances here already in this game. It'll be Naho Kawasumi with the service chance.
A little confusion on the Red Stars part there. We'll
Kawasumi
see.
going deep side.
Yeah, I think had an unmarked player that Sitch realized late and ran out to provide some additional cover, but Sitch is not going to do well against the trees on a corner kick. I don't think the camera caught that. Just a long shot just to the right side of the goal, or left side of the goal, and LeBlanc lets it go for a goal kick.
Finish your thought about the trade with LaRue and
Yeah,
how has that changed the landscape for Seattle?
So somebody on Twitter, I'm sure, will correct me, but I think Laura Harvey did something like a dozen trades. I mean, it was a remarkable number of trades and moves, but all starting when you can pick up a player of LaRue's caliber that can unbalance a defense by herself, and you have Rapinoe, you have Hope Solo, and you have a number of players like Fishlock, winners. You had a lot to build on. And so then it was a matter, I think, of building the team in Laura Harvey's image, and she picks up players she knows like Kim Little, and it has just fallen together nicely. It's great as a fan to see this kind of soccer played.
It's working.
Yeah,
again, Seattle
so
unbeaten.
hats off to Seattle. Kansas City, also another club that's playing some great soccer, has some wonderful talent, but assembled and coached very well.
We have 1 minute of stoppage time, an additional time here coming up here in the first half. A 1-0 lead here for the Chicago Red Stars, the goal coming in the 8th minute. Again, we're happy you can join us between Seattle and Chicago. I'm Lisa Byington alongside the Chicago Red Stars owner Arnim Whistler. We're happy you could tune in and watch this match between the best team right now in the NWSL and a team that's hungry to make the playoffs.
It's a nice ball directly into LaRue. About 20 yards. Has to reset, though. And Morway with those quick feet gets to the ball.
Cox controlling, was looking into Kim Lisle there in the center of the field. And that'll be the whistle for the halftime. So the Chicago Red Stars strike first and maintain that lead. And there you see all the fans who have come out to bear the elements. A little bit of rain coming down here in the second half of the first half, and you saw that maybe affect these teams and how the ball was being played out there in the field. It could be a factor again here in the second half.
I think it will be. Either team would be happy to have an early lead in a game like this because it's unpredictable and it's hard to do some of the things you're trying to do. So we'll take that early good strike from Tancredi. I'm sure both coaches will adjust a lot. I think if you're Laura Harvey, you got to see Kim Lisle on the ball a little bit more. Didn't have as many touches as I think they'd like her to have, and they'll try and solve why that was happening. But I expect a great match here in the second half, and we hope the rain and lightning stays away.
Don't jinx it. Arnhem Whistler, thank you for joining us here in the first half. We will see you here in about 20 minutes. We're going to take a break and step away, but we'll join you in about 20 minutes when the second half is just about to begin.
With 2 kids playing on 4 different teams, Jane struggles to stay organized, especially when it comes to getting everyone to the right place at the right time. And with the inevitable last-minute changes, things get even more frustrating. Thankfully, each team uses TeamSnap, making Jane's life a breeze. After downloading the app and activating her account online, schedules are automatically synced to all of Jane's calendars. She gets team notifications on the go by email and text. Maps and directions are a single tap away. And she can even view team contact information so she can organize carpools with nearby families. Get started with your free account today and join millions of parents like Jane who already use TeamSnap to keep their kids on the field and their sanity intact.
Proud presenting partner of the 2014 Chicago Red Stars, CJ Wilson Mazda has all-star service and breakaway selection with all new models, like the 2014 Mazda 6, starting only $19,999. Discounts off MSRP include all customer incentives, plus tax, title, license, and dock fees. Financing varies for qualified buyers. Offer ends April 30th, 2014. Test drive a Mazda today at CJ Wilson Mazda, located at the corner of LaGrange Road and Joliet Road in Countryside. Visit ZoomZoomNation.com for the largest selection of new and pre-owned Mazdas in Chicagoland. What do you drive?
There are 2 ways to manage a team. Coach Derek uses a clipboard, the old-fashioned way, and Coach Bob uses his smartphone and the TeamSnap app. It's faster, way faster. When the practice location changes at the last minute, Coach Bob touches one button to notify the entire team by email or text. Coach Derek needs a team. The night before the game, Coach Bob confirms that he has enough players. At game time, Coach Derek discovers he doesn't have a goalie. And while Coach Bob's bank account is happy because he can collect the team fees online, Coach Derek spends hours searching through notes to track down who hasn't paid. TeamSnap puts your team on the field, on the web, and on your phone. Whatever your game, whatever your group, TeamSnap makes it easy. Sign up and try it for free today.
With 2 kids playing on 4 different teams, Jane struggles to stay organized, especially when it comes to getting everyone to the right place at the right time. And with the inevitable last-minute changes, things get even more frustrating. Thankfully, each team uses TeamSnap, making Jane's life a breeze. After downloading the app and activating her account online, schedules are automatically synced to all of Jane's calendars. She gets team notifications on the go by email and text. Maps and directions are a single tap away. And she can even view team contact information so she can organize carpools with nearby families. Get started with your free account today and join millions of parents like Jane who already use TeamSnap to keep their kids on the field and their sanity intact.
Proud presenting partner of the 2014 Chicago Red Stars, CJ Wilson Mazda has all-star service and breakaway selection with all new models, like the 2014 Mazda 6, starting only $19,999. Discounts off MSRP include all customer incentives, plus tax, title, license, and dock fees. Financing varies for qualified buyers. Offer ends April 30th, 2014. Test drive a Mazda today at CJ Wilson Mazda, located at the corner of LaGrange Road and Joliet Road in Countryside. Visit ZoomZoomNation.com for the largest selection of new and pre-owned Mazdas in Chicagoland. What do you drive?
There are two ways to manage a team. Coach Derek uses a clipboard, the old-fashioned way, and Coach Bob uses his smartphone and the TeamSnap app. It's faster, way faster. When the practice location changes at the last minute, Coach Bob touches one button to notify the entire team by email or text. Coach Derek needs a team. The night before the game, Coach Bob confirms that he has enough players. At game time, Coach Derek discovers he doesn't have a goalie. And while Coach Bob's bank account is happy because he can collect the team fees online, Coach Derek spends hours searching through notes to track down who hasn't paid. TeamSnap puts your team on the field, on the web, and on your phone. Whatever your game, whatever your group, TeamSnap makes it easy. Sign up and try it for free today.
With 2 kids playing on 4 different teams, Jane struggles to stay organized.
Welcome back to Benedictine University, a match here between the Seattle Reign, the top team here in the NWSL, against a very hungry Chicago Red Stars team, a team trying to make the playoffs, and every points are at a premium for the Chicago Red Stars. I'm Lisa Byington. We're happy you can join us. I'm alongside Chicago Red Stars owner Arnhem Whistler, and we have taken you through here the first half. It's a 1-0 lead here between the Chicago Red Stars, a goal that was scored in the 8th minute. And here is how some of that first half here evolved. A lot of physicality here to start in this first half. Lori Kolupny against one of the best defenders in Jess Fishlock. The hard tackle there, it was something that you saw through the first few minutes here of the first half. Zakiya Bywaters getting tumbled there to the turf, a hard tackle there again with Jess Fishlock. And then here's an opportunity, finding the head there of Abby Urseg, and Chicago just could not convert. They had 3 corner opportunities in the first half. This was a look from Zakiya Bywaters to Abby Urseg, and Urseg just could not convert. In the 8th minute, here was the goal. Julie Johnston, a beautiful ball to Melissa Tancredi. And Arnhem, what did you think of this?
A screamer, a right foot screamer, side netting. There's nothing Hope can do when you hit it that well.
Here was a look here, through ball to Press, who had a chance, the left-handed look, but then Hope Solo really shut down that angle nicely.
Hope was all over that one.
Kristen Press, so speedy, and there is another look at it.
You know, her sense for goal, that was on goal. If Hope doesn't
And then
get
Stephanie Cox dropping the ball off, and a great look there from Sydney Leroux, and Karina LeBlanc was all over it.
Oh, here's the sneaky, cheeky back heel.
So pretty to watch.
There it is.
And you talked about that left foot from Zakiya Bywaters. There it was.
Skies it a little bit, but if she gets 6 inches of space, she's going to rip that shot.
Seattle did have its chances here on the set piece. But Chicago, they're winning the quarter chances 3-1 here in the first half, and the nice clearance there with an opportunity for Seattle. Kim Little, we didn't say her name very much here in the first half.
Right.
She drew the foul and the penalty there. But Seattle did not go away, as you said. A team that is tough and sometimes even plays a little bit better when they're down.
Right, and they've shown that over the last several games that they're going to find a way to fight through a comeback, and they're going to be there at the end. So we hope Chicago shows the same grit, pours it on. Let's get that second goal. I would point out too on those corners, though, I think Chicago got almost all their corners in the first 10 minutes. It was a flurry of activity, and then I really felt like Seattle started to get a little bit more, things going more their way. So, you know, momentum shift back and forth. Let's see the beginning of this half.
We'll look another look here at Melissa Tancredi's goal. Just the one touch, really a half chance look at a beautiful ball that was placed from Julie Johnston. That's her first assist of her career here with the Chicago Red Stars, and the first goal for Tancredi here this season.
And we're going to see that one more time, and then watch the very minor goal celebration by Tancredi after the strike. Little, I'm not sure. I'm going to have to ask her what she was going for here. She kind of flutters her arms out. Let's see. Oh, they didn't show it.
So the second half underway, and we are playing under a light rain here in Lisle, Illinois. Again, happy to have you with us. Lisa Byington alongside the Chicago Red Stars owner Arnhem Whistler. And again, Seattle striking here into the box early on. That's
very nice early ball to Leroux. Leroux had a chance to do something with that, and then the defense caught up with it, and Naho really didn't have options.
Nahu Kawasimi and obviously Sydney Leroux, a very important tandem there up top for Seattle.
There's Kim Little. Off to Noguera.
And a nice cutback move from Mariah Noguera. Again, Tancredi starting up top for Chicago, and Bywater is really starting in that 10 slot for the Red Stars. You have Kristen Press maybe playing a little bit back, and we were talking about the different shape and the different pace that Chicago had with this different lineup look.
Yeah, you know, there was a couple thoughts, as I said earlier. It could be that they're just really rotating that diamond to get some rest for the legs. Kolupny was playing very withdrawn, almost a holding mid most of that first half. And then every so often would cycle up, and then you'd see someone else resting. So that could be the plan, or we may be just trying a different formation just to try and throw Seattle off for a bit.
There's a left-footed shot there for Seattle. One thing that I've noticed already is Jess Fishlock is really pushing up a little bit more here for the Reign than she did here in the first half.
Right. Again, they're an intelligent team, high soccer IQ. We're gonna see them adjust. It's gonna be a battle to the end, and you know, I would think with the wet turf, there's gonna be another goal slip in somewhere.
Tancredi settles.
Yeah. Leone was available on the left side. That kind of went away.
And Keisha Morway and Michelle Wenino getting the start there in the backfield. A dangerous square ball from Chicago, and Seattle takes advantage. Here they are on the counterattack.
And you've got Leone chasing back a long way, trying to disrupt that.
Kim Little in the middle of the field was very quiet in the first half and lets that one sail out of play.
And no obvious, I don't see any lineup changes. Lisa, did we get any official? I don't think there are any substitutions. There's no major change in the way that the teams are lined up this half.
No substitutions made so far here between either team. Here is LaRue, a chance, a half chance, and Karina LeBlanc with a dangerous bouncing ball. Again, that ball's going to skid on that field turf with the rains coming down. It's going to be wet down there.
Yeah, Bev Goebel is, you know, right to just get that shot right on goal and see what happens. And, you know, if you're a Chicago fan, you don't like that. They've gotten two reasonably good, clear chances inside the 18 this quick. So Seattle's done something to adjust to the Chicago defense that had them somewhat stymied in the first half.
You mentioned the corner advantage coming into the second half. Chicago had the advantage there, 3-1 in terms of total shots. The Red Stars also with the advantage, 4-2 over Seattle going into the start of the second.
And a relatively clean game, no cards, 4 fouls for Chicago, 3 for Seattle. You know, not overly physical, pretty well played game.
We showed some of the physicality in some of those first half highlights, but you had mentioned no cards handed out. Clearly a different sort of pace and tempo compared to the 8 yellows that we talked about that were handed out in that first match between the two.
Also a different referee, which sometimes makes a difference.
Margaret Domka, Marlene Duffy, and Veronica Perez are your match officials here for tonight.
The crowd hasn't dwindled. They're getting wet, but they seem pretty happy, and the energy's still pretty high. So let's see how Chicago responds to this early Seattle pressure.
A dangerous ball there. It'll be a goal kick here coming up. Some hustle plays and some hustle points there for Seattle, trying to keep it in play. You were expecting a large crowd here coming in, and the weather maybe made it a question mark, but a lot of people have come out, and as you said, a lot of people have stayed. They tried to hide a little bit there in the concourse there at the half, but they all have come back out to watch a great match here between these two teams.
Yeah, I don't have the official number yet. I may somewhere, but I haven't been able to check my phone. But this was a game where we knew if we had a little sunshine, it was a sellout. And we didn't have much sunshine today, so we're just probably a couple hundred short of a sellout, but a very good crowd.
Lisa Bynton alongside the, yeah, there is. They're having a good time along the Chicago Red Stars owner, Arnim Whistler. And if we have a chance here in this second half, we don't want to take away from some of the play here on the field, but you do have some questions that have been filtering in all day from some fans, some Chicago Red Star fans. And you know that you are just being a guest analyst for us here tonight, but we'd like to use it maybe as that medium if we can, if we have an opportunity here in the second half.
Yep. We have a number of questions filtering in. Tancredi, collision with Hope. That was a fairly late collision, and Hope is grabbing her rib and maybe a wrist.
Here's another look at it.
Yeah, Tancredi with that cleat up goes right into Hope's chest and was right to be called there for the foul. It's hard to stop. Tancredi has a lot of momentum when she gets motoring, but still have to keep that cleat down.
We had mentioned that Seattle has 2 of the top keepers in the league. If Hope Solo has to come out, Haley Kottmeyer is more than capable. They have the 2 top goals against average here in the NWSL. Of course, number 3, right behind them is Karina LeBlanc. So some of the best keepers on display here tonight at Lisle, Illinois.
And
Sending it wide there to Lauren Barnes.
Another good ball in. You got Fishlock right at the top of the 18 with a clean touch. That's got to be trouble.
Kim Little battling.
And Kolupny takes an unfortunate angle, clearly fouls Kim Little. It's going to be a direct kick right at about 20 yards. Dangerous spot. Kim Little certainly a dangerous direct kick taker. And watch for the big bodies on the back post. Nagara, Goebel, others lining up back there.
Kim Little's 11 goals leads the NWSL. Right now she's going far
ball.
post, and that one is trying to clear out of the box there for Chicago. And settling, Nagara.
Oops.
And we'll have another free kick coming up.
I can't see who that was on the far side. Probably Leon. Might have been Kolupny. Yeah, it's Leon. Leon just clips a Seattle player, takes her foot out, and that's a clear foul. Another direct kick in a dangerous area.
So we'll try it from the other side here for Seattle. The Reign down 1-0.
The referee moving the wall back. It looks a little more than 10 yards to my eyes from here, but that's what he's done.
Here's Kawasumi. Nahu Kawasumi, a beautiful ball. Finds the head of Seattle, and they just cannot get it down.
Over the crossbar. And I'll be honest, this reminds me of the energy the Red Stars had at the beginning of the first half. I think Seattle's getting some nice chances. They're getting multiple corners, some reasonably clear shots right inside the 18. So Chicago's going to have to find a way to adjust.
Here's another look at the chance. That was Kendall Fletcher trying to knock it down. And you're right, so far Seattle being the aggressors here to start this second half.
And it wouldn't surprise me if around the 60th we see some subs get up. Actually, there are a couple of subs up and active, but that would be consistent with what Rory usually does. Get some fresh blood in here, save the legs. There's a through ball, dangerous to the Leon. And Hope Solo reads that well, smothers it. Seattle in control of the ball.
Hope Solo, second all-time in career keeper appearances, wins, and shutouts with the U.S. national team. As many of the other national players not able to play with Seattle all season long. Something that has plagued all the teams here in the league, including the Chicago Red Stars, not only with U.S. national players, but some Canadian national players in New Zealand.
Yep. It's a, you know, the roster management in this league, and as with other leagues, is really difficult with 20 players and national team call-ups and short weeks, short turnarounds. It's very tough. You have to have all 20 ready to play every week.
Beverly Goebold dropping it back. Out to Fishlock. And the takeaway there from Chicago. Nicely done by Zakiya Bywaters. They'll try to reset here through LeBlanc.
Chicago's going to have to find a way to get a hold of that ball in the midfield and string some passes together and take the air out of Seattle a little bit. There's a nice steal by Seattle right at the 50.
And here's a chance, Tancredi. A breakaway, perhaps 1v1. She has some support there from Bywaters. Lays it out on the right side.
I think you have to call that sneaky speed by Tancredi. I did not think she was going to get to that ball, and she just kept finding a bit more pace to control it. And Red Stars with a throw in very deep in Seattle's territory.
And Melissa Tancredi, you had talked about perhaps one of those players who might get subbed out there in that 60th minute.
No, I think that's a pretty good bet. I think we've got some other players that can come in. You know, obviously it's too early to try and hold a lead, so you want to find another offensive player. But Van Egmon's waiting, DiBernardo's waiting. You can always slide Press or one of the others up to a high position.
Taryn Hemmings is also a sub here. Here's a chance here for Goebel, controlling here for Seattle, trying to lay it off to LaRue. Back to Goebel. And LaRue has some space on the right side. That's exactly where she goes. Here's Lori Kolupny
I'd like
controlling.
to see Lori on the ball a little bit. She can hold the ball very well. Well, and sprays that one out of bounds, turns the ball over. But you'd like to see her possess it upfield a little bit and take some time off the clock, see if she can create something. You can see a shot here of the supporter section. That's our local 134 supporter section. Full of creativity, a different theme every game.
I like the Lawal. That's a nice touch for LeBlanc.
Yeah.
Creative fans here in Lisle, Illinois. So here's your first substitution. Tancredi is out, and Vanessa DiBernardo is in. And DiBernardo has played a ton of minutes here for Chicago, getting really some rest in the last couple of games, even Wednesday and tonight.
Yeah, we're managing the players' fitness and workload through the season. So there are just certain times you just got to shut a player down. Even if they think they can go, we need them, to last through the season and get stronger, not get torn down.
There are 5 players on Chicago who have played over 1,000 minutes so far, and Vanessa DiBernardo is one of those.
She was, for a time, one of our 2 Iron women who had never been subbed out through, boy, I want to say 10 games or so.
and DiBernardo, correct?
Yep, those are the 2.
Out to the left side, it's Goebel here for Seattle, trying to chase it down, up against Weneno. Looking for a combination opportunity. Here's Kim Little up top. Can she launch it? Instead goes up and over
Naho's
to
gonna
Naho.
get there.
Naho very speedy. The national players out of Japan.
Going to need to get some pace out of DiBernardo. She's not going to be the high player, so she's not going to take Tancredi's spot 1-for-1. Although right now she's staying high. Some confusion on the throw-in, but it's going to go Seattle's way.
In the 59th minute, a 1-0 lead here for Chicago. The 1 goal scored in the 8th minute. Melissa Tancredi getting it. Julie Johnson with the assist, and we have a foul here.
Wow. Another dangerous spot, another dangerous foul against the Red Stars. Just outside the 18 on the left side.
And we have a yellow card that was handed out.
And who was that given to?
That wasn't totally obvious. So yeah, the third dangerous, maybe set play here for Seattle here to start this second half. Nahu Kawasumi again with the service chance here for the Reign. They have certainly had their looks here in the second half. The low liner into the middle of the box. There is LaRue. It goes wide right.
LaRue would like that one back. She had a sitter, a clear shot inside the 18. So the yellow card on Abby Urseg.
That's the first yellow here handed out tonight.
I think that might be the first yellow on Abby this season. We'd have to do a little research on that, but she's been a fairly clean player, even though she has some physicality.
There was another look at it.
And Red Star's just not holding and possessing right now, and so they have to withstand whatever Seattle throws at them.
It's Lauren Barnes and Michelle Weneno chasing after it. And you can see how slippery that turf is. But we have a whistle. Hold on. I believe Lauren Barnes might. Well, she's just getting a warning.
Getting the final warning.
Just getting a warning there from Margaret Domka. Here's another look.
You're going to see Weneno had that ball shielded cleanly and got her legs taken out from behind. Just hate to see that happen.
Injuries can happen a little bit more frequently here with a wet and slippery field turf due to the weather. It looks like some of the rains have stopped as of now here in Lisle, Illinois, but safe to say it really kind of came down in a steady fashion in the first half.
Yeah, we sneaked a peek at the radar at halftime, and so far so good. It looks like it's well west of the area. I think we're going to get storms, but hopefully long after the game ends.
Zakia Bywaters trying to play that down to Michelle Weneno up against Sydney LaRue. She had a goal the last time these two teams met. LaRue with a little bit of space decides to drop it off to Little. Little from up top. They're going to work the right side. Here's Little again.
It's another nice
serving
cross,
it back
very
into
deep.
the box. A high
Good
header to LaRue, and LeBlanc with the save.
Yep. Good spot on the header, and that's "Oh Canada" being played for LeBlanc for that great save. We just play a few bars of it.
And I'm sure the Lawal fans,
yes,
they're on the end line, love it. Here's another look at Lawal of LeBlanc.
Yep. And last game, Local 134 supporters came as they all had boxes on for Shannon Box.
Crafty. I love it.
Working hard in
As
Local 134.
As we had mentioned in the first half.
There
Shannon
they are,
Box,
another
there
shot
they
of them.
The Lawal. Shannon Box not available here tonight. She could be available next
DiBernardo.
Thursday there against Portland.
DiBernardo, a little bit aggressive there. Really didn't have the runner. Could have held that a little more. I think that's what we'd like to do, is hold that ball and wait for a little better chance instead of giving it right back.
Well, DiBernardo coming in a little bit cold.
Yeah.
The first sub to come in here in this game. Did not play at all in the first half.
I tell you what else I'm thinking about is Wenino's been down 3 times. I told you a little bit of a knee knock this week. I think you got to consider, too, holding that third sub just in case for defensive reasons. So we'll see what he does here. Oh. We have just had pointed out, it looks like Taryn Hemmings is at the sideline, and she's going to come in for Wenino. For exactly what we were just talking about. You just, Wenino's a tough lady, but can't push it any further today.
And you see the cast there on the left hand of Taryn Hemmings.
Yeah, Taryn,
what happened there?
I'm still not sure how, but she broke her hand a couple games ago in the middle of the game, and I didn't hear about it until a week later. I'm just the owner. So she's been playing with that soft cast for a little while. There we go. Zakia nicely earns a corner off the body of Kate Dines.
It'll be the 4th corner chance here for Chicago. Here's another look. The speed of Zakia Bywater is playing in a little bit of a different role.
So 3 subs left for Seattle, 1 for Chicago. I think at this point you got to hold on and see what you're given if you're Chicago. And Seattle right now, they've got good things going. I'm not sure you're going to change things up urgently when you have so many chances.
Vanessa DiBernardo will do the service duties for the first time here tonight. The header up and over the crossbar.
And fans of the Red Stars, that is exactly what you'd expect, is DiBernardo looking for Julie Johnston's head. But the only thing you don't expect is that Johnston's going to be unmarked like that inside the 18. So she had a nice hit on that, just a little bit high.
Could not get it down. Julie Johnston with the 1 assist, as we had mentioned here tonight, almost got a goal here as well. Julie Johnston just has 1 goal here for the season. She almost got her 2nd on that opportunity.
Yep, that first goal was one of the first games of the year, a header from DiBernardo, served in the corner. Oop.
Playing it out wide and a little too wide there for Taryn Hemmings to chase down.
Yeah, Taryn, as I think longtime fans will remember, loves to bomb forward. Last year played much more centrally. This year we need her more on the left side, or I'm sorry, on the right side. But if she gets the chance, she'll be forward.
A battle here between the Reign and the Chicago Red Stars.
Number of questions have come up about next season and scheduling for next season. With a World Cup year, and we just saw with the Men's World Cup, there's a 4 to 6 week period where the U.S. team and Canadians and hopefully some of our other internationals are going to be occupied and out of the picture. So it's a foul. LaRue fouls Kalupny.
So how do you balance that?
So all of the owners in the league have put forward solutions. We've got 2 or 3 very clear options that we're kind of working through right now. You balance you want to have a competitive schedule. You want to have the right players to bring the fans out, but you also need to manage the economics. So the choices are things like do you fully shut down during the World Cup window, or do you continue to play with some of the other players? Do you backload the season and try and fit an entire season in after the World Cup is over? It might be a little bit shorter in terms of number of games, but that's another one of the options. So we're working through that right now. I know the fans are dying to find out. The players are dying to find out. A lot of moving parts.
I can only imagine. Lisa Byington alongside the Chicago Red Stars owner Arnim Whistler. When do you feel like maybe a final decision for that would be made between the owners?
So much depends on the federations and when they want their players. So I guess the short answer is we're still, I think, weeks away from knowing what we're going to do. And we still can't decide it by ourselves. We have to work with the federations around the world, the federations who've been so generous in helping to sponsor and start up NWSL, Canada, U.S., Mexico. We want to make sure we serve their needs.
Here's Kim Little on the counter chance, defended nicely there from Morway. Out to Fishlock, trying to create. Down to Nahu on the right side. Back to Ellie Reed. Ellie Reed has entered to this game here for Seattle, number 7. And there's Little, the little combination, beautifully done.
Oh,
she
boy.
goes down in the box, and no whistle, no call is made.
It was shoulder to shoulder, but very, we've had a number of PKs called in the league this year, and you hate to see them affect games. That there are some refs that would have called that. I'm personally comfortable that he didn't. But 50-50 challenge on a wet turf. Hard to call a PK there.
In early June, when these two teams met, there were 2 penalty kicks. Kim Little converted on both of them. And Seattle and Laura Harvey went on to win 3-1 in that first match.
Yeah, and I would say in that match, both those penalty kicks were well-deserved. There was no ambiguity. The Red Stars committed some obvious fouls.
Visit www.hiltonlinelandbridgeville.com for more information on the Red Stars official.
There's the physicality of battle between Goebel there and DiBernardo.
Yeah, you expect Seattle to be pushing and chasing a little more aggressively. They're down a goal somewhat late, but still surprised that the Red Stars haven't tried to grab a little more control, found a few more counters.
You see Johnston controlling.
This is
Here's LaRue
dangerous.
pressuring. LaRue out to LeBlanc. This could be dangerous. LaRue is so speedy.
Yeah,
Almost got to LeBlanc.
Doesn't like her left foot as much, so that was unfortunate. She had to cross that over, and then LaRue almost got there. You can see heavy pressure by LaRue here, and then a little bad touch, probably the water.
And here's the final substitution here for Chicago. You have Alyssa Motz.
So the little bit of a surprise there on the final sub, both in the timing, because I thought we might need to wait to see what was going on, but and in the person. I thought we might see the birthday girl, Emily Van Egmond, come in. A little more height, play a deep-lying role. Motz, though, as good as she is offensively, I think is our strongest defensive midfielder. So she gives you both threats. And to the extent we're holding on to a game here, I think Motz is a good choice.
Motz is so speedy, too, can add that kind of factor as well for Chicago. So we're in the 71st minute here between Seattle and the Chicago Red Stars. We're happy you can join us here on this night that we've seen some rain, mostly in the first half. Things have dried out just a little bit, in the air at least, not necessarily there on the field turf. Sending it up and over the top. Here's Cindy LaRue. She has a chance. She's got a breakaway.
That speed of
and
LaRue
Chicago
is just
closes in on her.
LaRue's speed, constantly a threat. If she's even, she's ahead, is the way you've got to think about it. So even though the backs had her under control, she just outpaced him on the race to the ball there. Thankfully, Urseg came back to smother that.
I was going to say, how good of a job have Julie Johnston and Abby Urseg done in the center back positions there for Chicago tonight?
Well, and it takes time. I mean, Johnson was paired with Johnson all year, and they had really the best defense in the league, best center back pairing in the league in terms of goals given up. And then Johnson goes down with an injury, and it takes time for Urseg and Johnston to work out the chemistry, but they seem to be figuring it out now.
Johnston and Johnston. It's a tongue twister. Say that 5 times fast.
Those wondering about Sam, she took a cleat to the face. I think people remember that. Lasada in the Western New York game, an unfortunate cleat to the face. Had some stitches and surgery to straighten her septum. And
doesn't sound fun.
She's moving around pretty well. I know she's fit and thinking about practicing, but she just can't get near heading a ball.
Rory Dames had said in the pregame on Wednesday he is hopeful that Sam Johnson might be back here even before the playoffs, right. Maybe a week or two before. Here's DiBernardo with the takeaway.
Does she have the speed to get away? She does from Nogueira, but now what?
Kendall Fletcher chasing it down.
Yep.
Fletcher coming to play defensively here for Seattle. Of course, she had that header chance off of the set piece earlier here in this half for the Reign.
A little surprised. I don't see Seattle with subs up, unless, you know, maybe we missed it. I know they've used one. I don't know. I don't believe we have other subs, so I'm surprised. It's late. The legs are getting heavy and tired, and thought they might bring someone in with more energy.
Ellie Reed has been their only sub so far here in the second half.
It's good pressure by Kim Little. You don't think of Kim as much defensively, but that was just a great takeaway. Sitch should have been able to spring that ball to someone, but Little disrupted it. Nice job.
There'll be another free kick coming up here for Seattle. Kim Little had no shots here in the first half. Hard to believe. LaRue had one shot, and Fishlock had one shot in the first half, and those were the two looks for Seattle in the first 45.
Play the ball.
Here's one into the center of the box, dribbling away.
Called a goal kick. I'm not sure. To my eyes, to be honest, I thought that was off Abby Urseg's head. Could have been a corner, but to be honest, I think the ball earlier was out of bounds. Players stopped playing. They should never do that. But either way, Red Stars have the ball. LeBlanc restarts.
That one getting away a little bit from Little, who tried to chase it down. Now thought about the run on the outside. Things are bottled up in that part of the field. Little spinning away from about 3 Chicago defenders. Dropping it off to Naho. Kawasumi, who sends it in. She was going for Fishlock.
And that's Sitch making a very deep run there. I was just starting to wonder if she was getting tired, but she chased that back, got a head in there, and saved a very nice cross by Naho.
Naho had a great goal against the Boston Breakers there on the right side and timed it perfectly.
And this is Press. Haven't heard her name in a while, but she was just about free and gets fouled there. And just when you think you haven't called Press's name for a while, I remember thinking this the other night against Portland. We were down 2-0 on the road. Wondered if Press was tired. All of a sudden she hits 2 goals late, and we tie up that game. So she's still there. She's biding her time, waiting for the opportunities.
And she is lining up here on the inside here on this set piece chance. You look at Rory Dames and what he has planned. Here's DiBernardo's service. And Taryn Hemmings looking to settle. She needs support. She gets it. Sitch trying to send it back in.
Just see the ball slipping off the feet. I don't think those last 3 touches, none of them went as intended. Ball just not going where you want right now.
One thing about Kristen Press, to continue your thought, is the fact that she can really shoot from any part of the field.
She really can. Left to right, both feet, and you know, chip shots, laser beams. She's got the whole arsenal.
You get a look at the nice crowd that's out here at Benedictine University Sports Complex in Lisle, Illinois, just a little bit west of downtown Chicago. We have a match between the Red Stars and the Seattle Reign. The Reign still unbeaten here in the 2014 season. 13-0-3 for 42 points.
Oh.
A hard tackle. DiBernardo goes down.
A little surprised there's not something given there, but it is two players going hard for ball. It's very difficult. You can't expect Cox to pull out of that.
That was Vanessa DiBernardo up against Kate Dynas.
Oh,
Look
Kate
again.
Dynas, sorry. Oh.
Seattle Reign substitution, entering the match, number 11, Keelan Winters.
Keelan Winters, now the second substitution here for Seattle.
Keelan was briefly a Red Star last year. He traded early on to Seattle and is a fan favorite, very strong player, generally holding mid. Good in the air, and had an unfortunate tangle with Sitch in our last game that caused some concussion-like symptoms. She had to miss a couple of games, but Sitch then missed a few games too by being suspended. So it's good to see Keelan back playing well.
Keelan, one of the captains from last year, team captain, played 19 of her 20, or started 19 of her 21 appearances.
And there's Press showing a little burst of speed. She's still got her legs. She's just waiting and foreshadowing a little bit.
This game sandwiched in between two important games between Portland, a draw that happened last Wednesday and another match that's coming up on Thursday. If Chicago could get 3 points
Z
here.
intercepts that ball. If she can hold on, it's got to be a foul.
That's a foul. But if
And
Chicago could get the 3 points here, that would be huge for this club.
It certainly would. And we will hold our breath and hope that we can... card given there?
Here's another look at the foul by Waters.
Yellow card. Pulled her down, I think. Just probably not necessary.
So a couple of yellows handed out.
Number 7, Ellie Reed.
Ellie Reed
Ursig has a
handed
nice
the
long
yellow
serve.
card. Here's Ursig with the service.
DiBernardo chips it right. Ooh, more difficult than I thought for Hope. Just took a weird bounce.
Again, as we have said, it's hard to judge these bouncing balls on this wet and slippery field turf. It's a game where it rained most of the first half. Here's Bywaters there on the left side.
Ball's going to go the whole... There, it finally goes out. I thought that was going to go the whole way down to the corner.
We approach almost about 10 more minutes of play. Lisa Byington alongside Chicago Red Stars owner Arnhem Whistler, who's being our guest analyst here tonight. Do you have any other questions you want to address for the fans if we have a second?
We have some players asking about the famed Player X, a player that we had talked about to round out our squad early in the year that we thought we were going to bring in, that ultimately we didn't because we were playing so well and it wasn't fair to the people working so hard that were on the squad. So I am not going to reveal, I'm sorry, I'm not going to reveal who Player X was. We may grab her later. Not this year, but she's still on our radar. But people wanted to know who that was.
A foul there on Chicago. It'll be a free kick here for Seattle.
And I hold my breath on every free kick at this point because they're all just slippery and hard to handle.
Here's Cox. Getting it up to LaRue. Over to Winters, who just entered this game here for Seattle.
Morway just trying to kill that down into the corner, take time off the clock, but it's too early, frankly, for that. I would like to see the Red Stars play and go for that second goal.
So far, no team in the NWSL has been able to figure out how to beat Seattle here in 2014, and the Reign down by a goal here in the 82nd minute. Tancredi getting her first goal of the season in the 8th minute with the assist from Julie Johnston.
Good effort by Maud. Sitch clears it. And press.
And here is press. Pressing. And Dynas controls and handles. Under control there with that pressure there from Kristen Press.
Chicago seems content to just keep clearing the ball.
There's a deep ball. Trying to look up top there to Kim Little. Then we'll swing it around here to Cox. Little coming back and showing. Waiting for support. She turns. So good on the ball. Kim Little sending it to the far side. There's Naho.
Was there. Morway cuts that out. Reads that ball well in the air, and Urseg to safety.
How good is Kim Little on the ball? How many times have we seen her turn with 2, 3 defenders on her and she splits them all?
Just has a string on the ball. It follows her where she wants to go until she gets rid of it, and she's been a great player this year.
Leads the NWSL in goals scored. 11 goals this season, 3 assists. You could argue is in the lead for Player of the Year, MVP here of the league. Here's Little again, controlling.
Good touch around Kalupny.
Out to Naho on the right side. The good touch into the box. Tries to send it near side. Karina LeBlanc takes it away.
Great hard strike by Naho. Credit to LeBlanc. Just keep it in front of you. That's all you can do with the wet turf. You don't know if it's going to bounce up, slide under your legs. You just make sure there's no wicket there for it to go through. Now hold the ball.
Lori Kalupny.
Finds a chip to Press, works it back to her.
Press,
look at that.
The half chance.
Wow.
And I don't even think Hope Solo was expecting that.
That was a thing of beauty. This is what, you know, touches it quickly back to herself to her right foot and shoots a laser on goal. And this is why I think the national team's so excited about her. She just finds a way to finish. You cannot give her the ball in a dangerous space or she will find a way to finish.
We have Alex Morgan and LaRue and Press up top here for the national team. Quite a combination up top.
Wants it.
A high service there from DiBernardo. Maybe a little bit too high, a little bit too off.
Yeah, Johnston either didn't read it well or was undercut a little bit, but didn't get a. No, that's going to be a foul. See what Z go into the pocket. Z's going to have a card here.
After we had talked about how clean this game has been, we've seen 3 yellows now handed out here in the second half. Bywaters gets the 3rd.
I think some of that, you know, as a player, I know both of us play or played. Sometimes fatigue plays a hand in that. You just can't quite get where you want to be in time.
And for the official Chicago Red Stars jersey,
the turn from Fishlock. Again, looking up to LaRue. She's got Ursig on her, and Kalupny's dropping back to help.
Just cannot lose a player at this point. You got to mark very tightly. Keep your eye on the dangerous players.
Well, you had Kristen Press, who had been playing up top, but even she is tracking back now defensively.
I don't understand the call. Direct, just a throw in.
Just a throw in here for Seattle. In the 86th minute, a 1-0 lead here for Chicago,
nice.
Trying to tap that away.
Sitch, all she could do was get a toe poke on it over the end line. Now a dangerous set piece for Seattle. 86th minute.
Nahu Kawasumi will take the corner chance. Karina LeBlanc trying to direct traffic here. As you see Kim Little dropping to the far post there for Seattle. Now creeping up near side.
Well served. Ball falls nicely. And another corner.
That one found the head of Noguera. And Seattle will get another chance at it. And Karina LeBlanc trying to go for her 4th shutout here this season.
Fishlock also set up for the short corner over there. I don't think they're going to take advantage of that. I think you want to just take your chances lobbing it into the box and seeing if the See if he can find a lucky head.
Here's Naho. Serves it in, far side. The header is down, and the clear is away.
Very nice chance for Seattle. Chicago fortunate to not have that land at the foot of a Seattle player, or we'd have had a tie game.
Seattle trying to send it immediately back in. The flick from Dynas. And LeBlanc can take her time, and she will.
Upon the conclusion of tonight's game, the Red Star staff requests the fans seated on the field.
So the weather has cooperated so far. The fans are all still in their seats. We'll see if we can finish this game off.
Little trying to keep it in play.
And again, Mott's just hard to get by. Boy, that replay, and I guess that's Hemmings that gets it out, and DiBernardo finally clears it from the box.
What an opportunity there for Seattle. They certainly have had some good looks here in this game.
Oh, stop. Probably shouldn't have said that out loud. Just a little nick there by Kalupny playing the ball.
Here come the rain. Fishlock with the one touch.
And more way, some stout defending. Able to take that off the foot and get it out. Missed touch by Naho in the wet rain.
We're getting into crunch time here. A 1-0 lead here for Chicago. A goal that was scored in the 8th minute. Lisa Byington alongside the Chicago Red Stars owner, Arnhem Whistler, who is being our guest analyst here tonight.
And unfortunately, the Red Stars there just couldn't keep it in bounds. So back to Seattle with a couple minutes to play.
Of course, the Reign unbeaten here in 2014, a 13-0-3 record. No team in the NWSL has figured out how to beat them. And we are moments away.
So LaRue there fouls Urseg, and Red Stars get a free kick. Yeah, just running through the ball. So Red Stars will, I'm sure, look for the proper spot. It might take a few seconds here to find the right spot for the ball late in the game.
Urseg with the high service and the battle there for the 50-50.
But coming right back.
Out wide, the nice touch, and Little will run on. Here's Little up against Johnston. The nice tackle from Julie Johnston.
Safely for a goal kick, Chicago.
How about that play on the back line?
That was a stunning play. And well timed, just gets enough of the ball, and Little elevates to go over the kicked out leg there. So LeBlanc needs to get a good service here. We got to get the ball out or pick out a head that can possess the ball.
If you had to give out a player of the game, Julie Johnson would be first on the list. She has the assist here tonight and has done really well defensively up against that hard attack from Seattle.
You know, I was reading an interview by Jen Hoy of Jen Hoy this week, and the reporter asked Jen, you know, if she had a player that really impressed her on the team, and she picked Julie Johnston for her leadership, the ability to go both sides of the ball, and again, just a playmaker. When we need them, she's been there.
Will there be 3 additional minutes here added on?
Tons of time.
And here's Little on the left side. Up against Taryn Hemmings. Will take it to the right side.
That was pretty.
Into the box, Fishlock.
And Urseg
with the attempt, and Urseg was there.
Blocks that ball. And I would say in these last 10, 12 minutes, the ball has been going through Little every time. That's kind of, her touches are dangerous. We thought maybe we'd see more of that. I don't know if you could ever, you don't want to second guess things, but boy, I would have liked to see her touch the ball more early.
Into the box it goes. Fishlock is
Johnston
there, but
with the header. Back to Little's feet. Zakia.
Little serving it in.
Beautiful serve.
And Seattle wanted a call, does not
And
get a whistle.
Hemmings can't keep that ball in bounds. So another throw into Seattle. You can see on the scoreboard clock that we've added a little indicator. Of course, that's not the official time, but that'll give you an idea of where we're at in the 3 minutes of stoppage. Red Stars need to withstand this heavy pressure for a minute or so longer.
And about 1 minute to go, unofficially here in this match.
And sits right where we want it. Tries to get it in the corner. Hope has to come way up.
And she tries to send it back into the attacking third.
Right back to Sitch. Ball's out of bounds, which we don't mind at all right now. Another 10, 15 seconds maybe.
Here's
Chip,
a look,
deep
the
chip.
lofting ball, Fishlock flicks on, LeBlanc
another
in the
nice
right
chance.
place, right time.
Another nice chance. You got to love Seattle's grit and determination. They're still serving great balls. In the 93rd minute, falls nicely to LeBlanc, is able to hold on to that.
So this whistle could come any second, and there it is. And for the first time in 2014, the Seattle Reign defeated on the pitch.
And there is no longer an undefeated team in NWSL. I'm not saying it's opening up the race for the top spot, but I'm very proud of these Red Stars. Under duress, very different lineup, tough stretch. We're able to gut this one out after an early beautiful strike by Tancredi.
Rory Dames taking some chances, as you mentioned, juggling the lineup just a little bit. This game sandwiched in between, as we had talked about, two very important Portland matches where you need to get points, and lo and behold, you get 3 points here tonight against the top team in the NWSL.
Right, and somewhat unexpected. I can tell you the buzz around the office and around the team. We expected to win tonight. We respect Seattle. They're a great team, but we thought we had them in Seattle, and we wanted to get them back here on our own turf. With this crowd, they deserved to win tonight.
So Chicago now gets an extra 3 points, improving here to 7-6-3 here on the year.
I believe, I don't want to ruin for those who are trying to watch the other match later, but this does move us securely right now into a playoff spot. I won't tell you whether it's third or fourth, because that might indicate what happened in the prior game this evening. But very, very big 3 points.
Chicago, of course, battling with several teams here for a playoff spot. And the Seattle Reign still battling with Kansas City. And you were right, it kind of opens the door a little bit for FC Kansas City,
yeah,
maybe for that top spot.
Yeah, no, the Kansas City fans were cheering loudly, I'm sure, for us tonight. The rest of the team would love to, the rest of the league would love to see Seattle reeled in a little bit down the stretch here. It would be really interesting to see if we could unsettle the expectations for who gets to host the playoffs. But again, hats off to a very, very good Seattle team. Played to the end, had some great chances, certainly better chances than Chicago had in the second half. And who knows how different it would have been if the turf were a little drier.
Well, it was fun to watch. A 1-0 decision, and a lone goal coming from Alyssa Tancredi in the 8th minute. That is her first goal of the 2014 season and the first assist of her pro career. How about Julie Johnston, who would probably get the MVP award here for Chicago tonight?
Yeah, she's just rock solid. You could watch her through the entire season and count the number of major mistakes maybe on one hand. I mean, she just makes good decisions when she's near the ball. You can see our crowd who stuck it out through the wet conditions, and I think are very happy to be part of this.
They were a happy fan, a happy owner. Arnim Whistler, we appreciate you even giving us your time. We know this is not your traditional role as being a guest analyst, but we needed you tonight, and we appreciate you giving us your time.
Always happy to do it. Turns out I know some things about the team I'm always happy to share. So thank you, Lisa, for all that you do. I think we might have highlights coming up in the second half.
It's a no decision on that. Arnhem, I think we might.
We are moments away from the highlights, and then we will sign off.
We are going to get highlights.
Let you watch that Washington Western New York game and find out whether Chicago's in 3rd or 4th place right
Okay,
now.
You've been teasing it all night long. Here's a couple of highlights.
Kim Little getting fouled hard by Kolupny there.
It was a physical game. We saw 3 yellow cards being handed out in the second half, and Kolupny and Kim Little were certainly a great matchup here to watch. Seattle certainly had its chances, especially here in the second half.
You know, I think this was, if you think about that first game where we, you know, had a chance to win the game and then gave up 2 PKs, you have to be a little concerned late in the game here. We fouled an awful lot and gave them these direct serves in dangerous positions. Almost here again, LaRue back across the goal, almost leading to a goal.
Yeah, you see Fletcher with the first opportunity, and then it was LaRue with a couple of chances and went wide, and LaRue there with the header.
And here's the Johnston header just over Hope Solo. So really our best chance, I think, of the second half was that header by Johnston.
And this was a dangerous play. It forced, as you said, Karina LeBlanc to use her left foot to clear that away. Sydney LaRue applying the pressure there. And really, Seattle put the pressure on and put the heat on every single minute here in the second half.
Right. You know, there are some other teams this year that have played Seattle very well, and they have, but Seattle in every case has equalized. You know, the bounce of the ball tonight, they could have done it tonight. Chicago gets the 3 points. We'll take it and move on. Portland on Thursday for us, and then we see Seattle again back at their place.
Part of a 5-game stretch between Portland and Seattle. Kind of one of the quirks there of scheduling this year.
Kind of fun, though. You know, you get to see a team a lot and really get a sense of the game. It's very fun, I think, for the fans, too. And there's that surprise rip by Kristen Press late in the game. Plays it to herself, gets it off her right foot. This is the yellow card on Bywaters. Little worked very hard second half. Oh, header down, just fell to the wrong feet. Otherwise, that would have been the equalizer for Seattle there. And the foul on Urseg by LaRue. Little again. Nice slotted ball, Fishlock.
Here was in the closing minutes in Seattle's last few opportunities.
Chicago obviously content to clear the ball. Wow. The header there just falls to LeBlanc, and that was your game.
1-0, the final here from Benedictine University between the Chicago Red Stars and the Seattle Reign, and the Reign go down for the first time here in 2014.
And the Red Stars, if it ended today, are back in a secure playoff position.
7 more games to play. And the Red Stars get an important 3 points. For Arnhem Whistler, I'm Lisa Byington. Thanks for joining us, everyone.